We will today try to configure the Oracle Virtual Cloud Network. And if you're new to the Virtual Cloud Network, it's basically Oracle Virtual Cloud Network provides customizable and private cloud networks in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It's like just a traditional data center network. The VCN provides customers with complete control over the cloud networking environments. And this includes all assigning private IP addresses and creating even subnets and route tables and all. So there are two options, and we will go and select that one option, which is basically from the wizard. And we will go and check on the wizard, and then we will fill all the wizard's details. And these are the basic details from the routing point of view, VCN name point of view, and these are network components, right? So we need to have the subnets, we have the VNet, and all those will fill it. And as you're seeing it on the screen, these we'll configure now subnet, and these are the default values basically. And we will talk in the later in the slides what are these subnets and what is VNet and all the basic definitions, private IP addresses, public IP addresses, and all that. Now we'll just press next, and you will see you can review over here whatever you selected as all the options. And then you just hit press click, and then the wizard is gonna create all the necessary components on for as part of the VCN. And so it's finished created. Let's go and check it. What are the basic components on it? And here you can see the subnets. Under subnets, you can see compartment which you choose, and all the basic details, CIDR blocks and all that. We'll go inside the security list, which is the default security list is defined. Okay, these are now you're seeing it. These are some of the default components. The values are created, and egress rules or ingress rules. All those are the default values. And then if you go on the left side, these are all the components or the options available to configure the VCN which are required. And we'll go one by one, frankly, to just discuss in this high level. But ideally, we should go in a detail. What are these components? How these can be used, and so that we know what we are talking about on that context. So let me continue with. So what we have done it first. We created the virtual cloud network. It's a private network that we or you as a customer we set up on the Oracle data center. It equal to traditional network with firewall rules, specific type of communications, gateways, which you choose as per your configuration, and that's how you set it up on it. And there are components to the VCN subnets. These are subdivisions you define in a VCN, and those are different CIDR blocks from 10.0.0.0/24. And subnet contains virtual cloud network basically interface cards. These are VNets, which attach to the instances. Each instance consists of a contiguous range of IP addresses that do not overlap with each other subnet in the VCN. And you can designate subnet to exist either in a single availability domain or across entire region. So if you're aware about the other concepts on single availability domain or multiple availability domains, otherwise we will discuss in the later stages. And VNets are the virtual network interface cards which attach to an instance and resides in a subnet to enable connection to the subnet's VCNs. And these VNets basically determines how the instance connects with endpoint inside and outside the VCN. And the private IP addresses, these are the IP4 address and related information. For addressing an instance, for example, host name for DNS, or each VNet has a private IP address, and you can add or remove secondary private IP addresses. And I'm just covering it on a very high level, and then we'll go in a very detailed level. Public IPs, these are public IP4 addresses again are related on, and you can optionally assign a public IP to your instance if you want access through the public IPs. Then dynamic DRG, which is dynamic routing gateway, is an optional virtual router that you can add to your VCN, and it provides a path for private network traffic between your VCN and on-premise network. For example, you want access directly from your on-premise network, your organization network, and then you need to use the dynamic DRG, dynamic routing gateway. And you can use it with other networking components and a router in your on-premise network to establish a connection by way of IPsec VPN, or you can use Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Fast Connect to access or secure the communication between Oracle infrastructure and the VCN. Internet gateway, another component, optional router. It's a virtual router that you can add to your VCN for direct internet access. Then the NAT gateway, it's a network address translation gateway, another optional virtual router that you can add to your VCN. It gives cloud resources without public IP addresses, basically access to the internet without exposing those resources to incoming internet connections. So NAT is used where you don't want to expose your systems or up instances to that, so that no one can access from externally. Service gateway, another optional router, virtual router that you can add to your VCN, and it provides a path for private network traffic between your VCN and supported services what are available on that one. For example, you want to put the block storage or primary object storage or file storage, where you put the data or file systems. Then there are other components on the local peering gateway, LPG, remote peering gateway. I think we will discuss in the later stages on the each individual videos. So today's topic was to discuss the VCN and the route tables. These are virtual route table for your VCN. They have rules to route traffic from subnet to destinations outside the VCN by way of gateways or specially configured instances. Your VCN comes with an empty default route table, and you can add custom route tables for your own, so that you can add it. Security rules, virtual firewall rules for your VCN. These are ingress or egress rules that specify the types of traffic or protocol port allowed in out of the instances. What type of traffic? You can choose whether a given rule is stateful or stateless. You can maybe allow incoming SS traffic from anywhere to set of instances by setting up a stateful ingress rule with source CIDR block 0000 and forward slash or destination port TCP port 22. So all these we will go in detail one by one component. Then there are DHCP options, configuration information that is prime automatically provided to the instances when they boot up. Then there are other some basic concepts, allowed VCN size and address ranges, availability domains and your VCN, what are available based on your regions. And I think those are basic concepts. You need to go and get more detail on that. But as a default components to which comes with with your VCN, those comes default route table with no route role basically, and then the default security list with default security rules, and then the default set of DHCP options with default values. So these are the default components. You can't delete them, these components, and but you can change their contents, you can change the configuration and security list rules in the default security list. And each subnet always has three components associated with that: one route table, one or more security list, and one set of DHCP options. That's the short description of how to create your VCN, and then we will go, I think, in the number of coming slides on the more detailed concepts of the DHCP, VCN, security rules, and all that. Thank you.